Good morning, students. This session we are going to see non-finite verb. Okay, what is non-finite verb? Non-finite verb which do not show the tense or the time. Okay, whereas finite verb it shows what a time as well as the tense. Okay, now non-finite verb. So non-finite verb can be categorized into three types. Three types of non-finite verb. One is gerund, another one is participle, another one is to infinitive. Okay, infinitive. What are they? One is gerund, second one is participle, third one is infinitive. Okay, 2 plus verb 1, that is called infinitive. Okay, now let us see gerund. What is gerund? What is gerund? Listen here. Verb that ends with verb. Okay, verb that ends with ing. Ing is called as gerund. Okay, so verb that ends with ing is called as gerund. Verb with ing, that is called gerund. But all the words ends with ing are not gerund. So we cannot say all the verbs that ends with ing is what not at all called gerund. Okay, yes. See the example. Teaching is my job. Teaching is my job. See the underlined word teaching. Actually, teaching is a verb. Here it's a verb. Teaching is a verb ending in ing. Actually, see, teach is the verb. Here we are adding ing. Teach is the verb. We are adding ing. At the same time, it is the subject of the verb is. It is the subject. Here it means who? The teaching. This teaching is the subject. Here it acts as a subject. Teaching is here acts as a subject of the verb is. Here this is called a verb. This is called a verb. This is called a subject. Teaching is called a subject here. So is verb. Okay, of the verb is. Okay, so it means teaching is the subject of the verb is. Hence, so that teaching functions as a noun. So teaching, it is function as a noun. Okay, teaching is function as a noun. It is called as gerund or verbal noun. It is called as gerund or verbal noun. So that this teaching, it is considered as gerund. It is considered as gerund because it doesn't show what any tense. Okay, here it is acting as a what a gerund. If this a tense means what it must show what any kind of helping verb. If helping verb comes along with the teaching me, it is considered as verb. But here it acts as a noun, so that here it is a gerund. So teaching is my job. Here teaching is a gerund. Okay, so or a verbal noun. So it is what gerund is otherwise called as verbal noun. Verbal noun means what is that? So here the actually teach is the verb. Okay, here it is coming with ing. So that here the verb comes in the form of noun. So the verb is coming as a form of noun, so that it is otherwise called as verbal noun. Gerund is otherwise called as verbal noun. Now the uses of gerund. How can we use gerund? Okay, yes. Gerund used as the subject of the verb. So gerund is used as the subject of the verb. You see here, see the example. Smoking is injurious to health. Here, which is what gerund. So here, smoking is gerund. Okay, it acts as a subject. This is called a subject. So acts as a subject of that verb. Okay, here the verb is the verb here. It is verb. So here, what smoking is a gerund. It acts as a subject. See, the cycling is healthier than driving. So here cycling is what gerund. Okay, it's a gerund. It acts as a what gerund. So here it acts as a subject. So cycling is gerund here. It is also acting as a subject. It is also acting as a subject. Okay, so it is called a subject what a gerund is acts as a subject. Okay. Next, gerund used as an object of the verb. Gerund used as an object. You see, he loves driving fast cars. So he loves driving. So here, what a driving. This driving here is a what a object as well as it's a gerund. So gerund here acts as an object of the sentence. Okay, object. So driving here is object. Subject verb here in the place of object place. The gerund is coming here. Next, I enjoy swimming in the river. I enjoy the same thing. So here gerund acts as an object. Gerund acts as an object. Okay. Yes. Next, gerund used as object of the preposition. Gerund used as a object of the preposition. See, he is good at singing. So here you see object of the preposition. So here it is in the object place. Here what a gerund is coming with the preposition at. Preposition at. So he is good at singing. So here it is called a object of the preposition. See the next one. The boy was arrested for stealing. For stealing. So here also object order. Object of the preposition. Object of the preposition. See, the boy was arrested for stealing a loaf of bread. So here for stealing, it's a object of the preposition. These are the uses of gerund. Now participle. Okay, participle can be categorized into three: present participle, past participle, then perfect participle. Three kinds of participle: present participle, past participle, then perfect participle. Okay, let us see present participle first. Present participle, verb that ends with ing acts as past participle. Verb that ends with ing acts as participle. So verb which ends with ing are called participle. So gerund as well as participle look like same. So gerund also ends with ing, then participle also verb with ing. Okay, so here how can we know? See that it can only function, that means present participle. Present participle can only function as an adjective. It's very, very important. See, present participle can function as an adjective, whereas gerund functions as a noun. So gerund can be function as a noun. Okay, that means the subject of the sentence. Okay, whereas this order present participle function as an adjective. So present participle can act only as an adjective. Let us see the example. Collecting stamps is my hobby. Collecting stamps. So here the word collecting is what here? Present participle. It's a present participle. The word collecting is present participle. How? Because you see, so here it describes the noun stamp. So here it is noun. So here it is noun. So the word collecting, it describes, the word collecting describes the noun stamp, so that it is called a present participle. So as I told you, so this what present participle can act as adjective. So here this collecting is an adjective of the noun stamp. So it describes the noun. Okay, so that it is called as present participle. Present participle nothing but it describes the noun. Okay. Next one, see, the police saw the dead body. The police saw the dead body floating down the river. So here floating is what a present participle. Floating is a present participle. Why? Because it describes, okay, it describes what? The dead body. That is called a noun. It describes the noun dead body. So that what it talks about what the present participle, it talks about the noun. Okay, so it is describing the noun, is an adjective of the noun, is an adjective which talks about what the noun. So that this floating is called as present participle. It is very simple. Present participle can act as an adjective of the noun. Okay, it can act as an adjective of the noun. It talks about the noun. It describes the noun. So that it is called present participle. Okay, whereas that gerund can function as a subject of the sentence. But what no sentence starts with present participle. If a sentence starts with what a verb with ing mean, that is considered as gerund. That is not what a present participle. Are you clear? Yes. Now we are going to see past participle. Now we are going to see past participle adding ed. Adding ed to the regular verb. Okay. Adding ed to the regular verb. Regular verb means some of the verb we have. Cook. Okay. Play. So after that we can add only ed. Cook becomes cooked. It's past participle. Play becomes played. Okay. So with that verb we are adding just ed. So that they are called regular verbs. There is no change in the verb. We just add ed. Cook is cooked. This is verb 1. Okay. So past participle means nothing but we already know what is meant by past participle. So V3 form of the verb. V3 form of the verb. We just add ed. Then irregular verbs may have ending like en, t or d or n. So irregular verbs. For example, see give, gave, given. So here you see. So the verb which changes in all the forms. Present tense verb. In past tense it became gave. Then past participle it was written as given. So in all the three forms it changes. So that they are called irregular verb. Irregular verb means the verb give becomes gave in past tense, becomes given in past participle. It always changes. So that it is called irregular verb. So here it ends with en. So past participle. Okay. Then at last one is perfect participle. What is meant by perfect participle? Combining the word having. Combining the word having with the past participle form of the verb. So a sentence starts with having plus V3, past participle form of the verb. You see, having lost all his money. Having lost all his money, comma, he became a poor. Having lost, LOSD, having lost all his money, he became a poor. So having lost, if you see having lost, it is written as perfect participle. Okay, whenever having plus V3 comes to me, it is considered as perfect participle. Now, infinitive. Okay, we have seen what gerund, participle. Now infinitive. Infinitive is nothing but we are adding 2 plus verb 1. 2 plus verb 1. For example, to write, to play, to walk is considered as infinitive. 2 plus verb 1. To play, to walk. These are all infinitive. Okay, let us see the example. I want to read a newspaper. I want to read a newspaper. I want to read a newspaper. He likes to ride. He likes to ride. R-I-D. He likes to ride the bicycle. I want to read a newspaper. He likes to ride the bicycle. She tries to improve her language for better spoken. She tries to improve. So all the underlined words are called infinitive. Infinitive nothing but 2 plus verb 1. You see here verb 1. Ride is verb 1. Then improve is verb 1. Are you understand? Yes, I hope you all clearly understood that non-finite verbs. Good morning everybody. Now we are going to see phrase and class. Okay. Now let us see phrase. What is phrase? A group of words without a finite verb is called as phrase. Without a finite verb. Okay. What is meant by finite verb? Finite verb means a verb which shows the time, or a verb which shows that time as well as tense. Okay, so here a group of words without a finite verb, that is considered as phrase, that is called as phrase. Okay, look at these words here, given words. An intelligent boy, a costly pen, an interesting story. Is it containing any verb? All these words? An intelligent boy. Is it any subject or verb here? No. Here see a costly pen. Okay. Is it any kind of verb here? Is it any finite verb? No. An interesting story. So, which is interesting story? What is given here? So, these are all abrupt in meaning. Abrupt in meaning. That means incomplete meaning. Okay, because it doesn't contain with finite verb. Okay, so that these are all called a phrase. Phrase means meaningless. Okay. See, there are 3 kinds of phrase. There are 3 kinds of phrase. What are they? Noun phrase, adverb phrase, adjective phrase. Noun phrase, adverb phrase, adjective phrase. Noun phrase. Let us see noun phrase. The kinds of phrases, 3 kinds. Okay. First one is noun phrase. A noun phrase is a group of 2 or more words. What is meant by noun phrase? A noun phrase is a group of 2 or more words that is headed by a noun. There are 2 or 3 words, 2 or more words connected, and it is headed, and it is acts as a noun, 2 or 3 words joined together, which acts as a noun. Okay, you see here. The boy of class 10 became the house captain. So here, the boy of class 10 alone, you see, the boy of class 10 alone is noun phrase. Okay, so here these words acts as a noun. It is abrupt in meaning. It needs this to complete meaning. The boy of class 10 alone is called noun phrase because it contains the boy, noun. Okay, so these words are called noun phrase. Okay, so here, see, this noun phrase needs this, okay, became the house captain to give a complete meaning. So the boy of class 10 is a noun phrase. It contains a noun. Now, adverb phrase. Adverb. What is meant by adverb? Adverb means it describes the verb. It describes the verb. It gives additional information about the verb. And it also shows it indicates a time, place, or the manner. Okay, that is called adverb. Adverb phrase means a phrase which functions as an adverb. Adverb, what is meant by adverb? It indicates time, place and manner. Okay, so this phrase supplies some information about the action. So how it was happened. Okay, it gives the more information about the action. Okay, so the verb. Okay, so action means here the verb. It gives more information about the verb, so that it is called adverb phrase. Look at the example. When the patient was taken to the hospital. When the patient was taken to the hospital, the doctors rushed there in a hurried manner. The doctors rushed there in a hurried manner. So here the underlined words in a hurried manner. It shows in what manner they arrived to the hospital. In what manner? Okay, it shows the manner here, so that it is an adverb phrase. Adverb means what? It shows the manner, how the doctors, in what way, how they are rushed, how they rush to hospital. Okay, so in a hurried manner. In what way? In hurried manner. So hurried means very fast they are moving to treat the patient. Now adjective phrase. What is meant by adjective? Adjective means it describes the noun. It talks about the quality of the noun. That is called adjective. Here a group of words that does the work of an adjective. That does the work of the adjective. It describes the noun. I already told. It describes the noun. Okay. Yes. Look at the example. We bought chairs made up of wood for our auditorium. See, we bought chairs. So here you see, this is called a noun. We bought chairs. What we bought? Chairs. So here you see this word made up of wood. Okay, made up of wood. Here it's an adjective. Why it is adjective? Because it describes, it talks about the noun chairs. We bought chairs made up of wood. Made up of wood is an adjective phrase because it talks about it describes the noun chairs. Now we are moving on to class. What is class? A group of words that has a finite verb. A group of words that has a finite verb. Okay. So, and makes a complete meaning. You see here, you see this example. The boy who is intelligent. The pen which is costly. The story which is interesting. See, it contains the finite verb. It contains the finite verb. Without the finite verb, it is meaningless. It contains the finite verb here. So that it is a class. See here, it makes a sense. A boy who is intelligent. It makes a meaning. The pen which is costly. The story which is interesting. So only with the help of this finite verb, it gives a complete meaning, so that it is considered as class. Okay. So classes can be categorized into 3 types: noun class, adverb class, adjective class. You see here a group of words that acts as noun. You see here, whoever wins the contest will get a prize. Whoever wins the contest will get the prize. See here, whoever wins the contest will get the prize. Okay. The next one, see adverb class. It modifies the verb. So adverb means it modifies the verb. It tells something about the action. It also gives the details of the action. It also gives additional information about the action, so that it is called adverb. You see here, see the example. The students were sitting quietly in the class. The students were sitting quietly in the class until the teacher arrived. Until the teacher arrived. Okay, here what? Here it's a adverb class. Until the teacher arrived, the students were sitting quietly in the classroom. So it's a adverb. Okay, it shows here time. Until means until the teacher arrived. That means it shows here the time. It indicates the time. The time of the teacher arrival. Okay, yes. Next one is adjective class. A group of words acts as an adjective and describes the noun. A group of words acts as an adjective and describes the noun. You see, I went to the place where I was born. So here, I went to the place where I was born. See here which is what? Adjective class, where I was born. See, here also, see this, where I was born. So here, this what? It describes the noun I. I went to the place where I was born. So here, so the underlined words which describes the noun I. So I went to the place where I was born. Are you clear? Yes, I hope you are clear about the class and phrase. Okay, so do the exercises which is given in the book. I'll discuss the answers later. Thank you very much, children.